Hey everybody, this is Chris LeCount. So today what I wanted to do was a snare drum review for you. I kind of wanted to make it like the old one that I did with the OCDP snare, the 13x7. I wanted to kind of do one of the low, medium, high tuning videos. I can't do that with this snare review right now because my snare is actually out of commission. And that's why I kind of wanted to do just a quality review of this new snare that I got. So the new snare that I got was a Pacific drum, Pacific by DW. It is their limited edition wood hoop snare drum with natural finish. The finish is really nice. It's a satin finish, not lacquer, with matching wood hoops. So and claw hooks as well. So this, I love the look of the drum. I've always been a big fan of wood hoops on drums, and I just find that they look really classy, really slick, and that that's the main reason I got this drum was I love the look. I fell in love with the look of it as soon as I saw it. But yeah, let me get into a little bit more details. I'll give you the positives and negatives, and my personal experience with the drum, and my review and rating of it. So first things, you've got your limited edition badge right here. It does say Pacific Drums by DW, limited edition. You've got your claw hooks here on both sides. I like the way that the lugs look. They're pretty low profile. You got your butt plate here for your snare. And then you've got your one vent hole right there. Then you've also, one thing I really do like about this drum is that it does feature the mag throw off that DW has on all of their snare lines. Again, it's lever activated, but as soon as you get up to about 3/4 of the way, the magnet just takes over and it just sticks right to it. So you don't have to worry about it, kicking off in the middle of playing. Same thing with the throw off here. It's all turn based. It's, got like knurled metal here. And then you can also use a drum key if you want, more precision tuning of the snares. When I was playing it, I had the Evans Heavyweight Level 360 on top as a batter head, and the Evans snare side, or the Hazy 300, for a bottom snare. And I didn't get a chance to change out the actual snares themselves. These are the stock snares. So that's the good about the drum. Like I said, I do really like the look of it. But let's get into my experience and the negatives of the drum. So the negatives that I found is that, one, the claw hooks come with, let me see if I can grab it right here. Okay, so these are your claw hooks. Currently I'm down a claw hook right now. What ended up happening was I was trying to get like a tighter sound, kind of like how I did with the OCDP snare. I wanted to get a medium-high sound with this snare drum. That's one of the downsides of it. You will not get that with this drum. You absolutely cannot tune it to a higher pitch sound. I don't know if it's the way that DW had designed this drum to only sit at a low range or become a ballad snare, but I'm literally 6 turns in and my claw hook warped. It literally will not sit. It will not sit even with the hoop anymore. And anytime that I get 4 turns in now, it pops off to here. So I've literally got one hook that's on, one that's off. So you can't maintain any tuning whatsoever with this. So that happened yesterday. I contacted Interstate Music, where I bought this from. They got on the phone with their DW rep, and DW is sending me out a package of claw hooks, but they're sending it USPS, so it'll be here within a week. That doesn't help me right now because I'm without a snare drum for a week. Lucky for me, I've got my backup snare. So if I was a touring drummer, I'd kind of be dead in the water right now. I would have to go to another music store and either buy a new snare, or I'd have to find these claw hooks, which I highly doubt they're going to have ones just like this. They'll have ones for bass drums, which are bigger, but they're not going to have these small proprietary little claw hooks. So that's probably one of my biggest complaints, is just the quality of the hardware. DW has been known in their DW line for excellent hardware, for sturdy hardware. And their PDP line does not live up to that at all. On top of that, they have these little velvet strips that cover the claw hook themselves to try to give it a little bit of a buffer so that it won't scratch the wood hoop. After about 4 turns in from the claw hook and the lug, these velvet strips start to spread out because of the tension that's being put on the claw hook. Literally, this velvet just peels right off. As you can see from this one here, I've got a little piece of velvet just sticking out. It's about ready to rip off right now. Why they decided to go with velvet, cheap velvet that's glued on, I don't know, because it's not even glued on very well either. If I were them, I would take it back to the drawing board and I would probably put rubber on, just like how, I know Tama uses that, and even my Gretsch bass drum here. My Gretsch bass drum uses rubber, like a rubber insulator on the spur itself. Why they wouldn't do that for this, I do not have a clue. That'll just make, the snare just have such a longevity, and then you don't have to worry about marring up your hoop. That's one of the things too I'm a little upset about. When this thing warped, this claw hook warped, literally it scraped the hell out of the hoop. So now I have 2 big gouges taken out of this hoop. Does it affect the sound? No. And it really, I'm sure it doesn't affect the structural integrity of the drum, but it's just the fact that it's cosmetic and it bothers me. So that's one of the things that I'm pretty disappointed about in this snare, that I haven't even had this a month yet and it's already out of commission. I cannot use it. So there's that. That's one portion of it. The fact that it can only sit at low tunings bothers me, because if I want to tune it up a little bit, I can't tune it up. The only sound that I could get out of this was about a medium tuning. So it sat between low and medium low. If you want a high sound, do not go for this drum at all. Another thing that I found with this, what I ended up doing is, yesterday after the initial claw hook had warped under the pressure, I went ahead and I unscrewed all the lugs and I took the wood hoop off, and I actually replaced it with my Gretsch Renown die-cast hoop over there. So I put the wood hoop on the snare, I put the wood hoop on the floor tom, and I put the die-cast hoop on the snare. And one thing I noticed with the die-cast hoop being on, and I had noticed this from my old PDP, so I have a PDP LX snare drum here. One thing I noticed with this, and one of the things that they both have in common, is that when you put on a hoop, I've literally got 3 millimeters of spacing on this edge over here, but down over here in this corner, it's snug and tight, like almost right onto the collar itself. So I know that it's not the heads, because I've used different heads. The head that I was using on the PDP LX was an HD Dry Level 360 by Evans. This is a brand new heavyweight snare drum head, Level 360, and it sits perfect it should sit perfectly on the bearing edge. I set it on, it doesn't rock back and forth, it just sits, it should sit right there and you can spin it. So I put the die-cast hoop on, and I still got the same exact issue that I got with the triple flanged hoop on the PDP LX snare. That goes to show me that there is a low level of craftsmanship with the bearing edges as well. It is not a perfectly even 45-degree bearing edge. That can also inhibit the sound of the snare drum itself. That could be a reason why you can't get to a higher tuning, because the head doesn't sit properly on the bearing edge, and it doesn't allow you to get equal tension all the way across from each one of the lugs. So, as far as a review goes, those are my impressions. Those are my issues with the snare. And, if I were to buy this drum again, or have the option to buy this drum again, honestly, I wouldn't. I would save my money, and I would spend an extra $250 on a tie snare drum. Their lugs are a little bit different with tie, where I know that it's not going to mar up the wood hoop. Also, tie was run by Ray Ayotte for a while. After Ray Ayotte got kind of kicked out of his own company He went to Thai, and then now he's back with AOT again. So I would save up my money. I would buy a Thai snare drum. I would buy an AOT snare drum, or even almost any of the other custom drum companies that utilize, claw hooks and wood hoops. I would go with them before I would buy this again. You know, I thought I liked DW for a while. I didn't expect such low level craftsmanship from them, but this just really has been a bad experience with them. If anyone from DW sees this, I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to point fingers here, but I would definitely go back, and I would just go back to the drawing board on it, and I would reinvent the lug design. I would reinvent the claw hook design. It's $230, but I feel like my $230, I could spend that on a Thai drum and get a much different and better sound, because with the Thai, you're also getting I forget what they're called, the reinforcement hoops on the inside of the snare. You're getting reinforcement hoops on top and bottom, and you're also getting a different lug design and a different claw hook design. It's almost like a bass drum. So like my Gretsch bass drum, it's literally one thing that's together, and it sits down like that, and it's also rubber padded. So going back, please, if you hear anything, and if anybody else has this same snare drum and they're having the same issues with it, please leave a comment below and let DW know, because I let DW know. I'm getting the new claw hooks. If it does it again with the new claw hooks, I'm taking this back. It's not worth my time, and it's not worth the frustrations with it, because at the end of the day, I'm a working drummer. I'm a drummer that when I want a sound, I want a sound. I don't want to have to fuss with it for hours on end to try to get that sound that I want. And if I have to do that with this drum, I'll go to a different company. So that's my review of the PDP by DW limited edition snare drum with wood hoops and claw hooks. So please leave a message or a comment below. Feel free to message me. So I just want to hear your opinions on it all. Thanks, guys. Bye.